I'll tell you, what is different about our style of journalism. We are actually a team from IIM Ahmedabad and UCLA. So we run it in like a startup, and we have a very clear vision. That we just don't want to be the known as a channel which is fastest to the news. We want to, which gives the best insights. So that is the difference we want to create. We are not into that. We don't position ourselves ki sabse pehle, sabse tez. That is not our positioning. Our positioning is that we will do a very, well researched analysis about anything that is important, not everything, right? And if you look at the programs, the kind of programs that we do, we dismiss whenever, just simple sensationalization of something is happening. कि कोई जब बातें हमें लगता है कि लीडर भी यूजलेस बातें करते हैं, we tell that on TV that it is not important, don't worry about it. So this is the kind of distraction and the kind of narratives, which as media people you understand that how creating a narrative is important. And so this is more or less what we do. But sir, one thing I have to say, kids who come on a Saturday, that itself tells that how committed they are. So that is more important, right? So I'm surprised to see. So basically, it's good. Dar is a very very genuine emotion, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको डरना नहीं चाहिए. डर आपको जिंदा भी रखता है कई बार, right? और देखो, journalist का generally, I am not a student of journalism. I'm a management person, and it just happened in my previous role where Ripu Daman was my colleague. We happened to purchase a news channel, and as a group CEO, I was asked to run that channel also when some challenges happened, and I happened to like it, and I thought, and everyone understands that it's a great medium to at least express yourself if you have something to contribute, right? If you have something to contribute towards, and for us it is, building capabilities among youth and nation building. So this is more or less of our clear-cut vision why we are into this. So Punjab Today, with Punjab Today, apart from the OTT platforms, we're a new age media. We'll be available on satellite in US, Canada, because Punjabi diaspora is there mostly. And with Himachal Today, again, it will be mostly through digital platforms that we want to work on. And it's, as I told you, it's a startup environment. It's more of an analytical environment, right? So we want people who understand data, who can dive deep, right? And so it is not always about being glib. अगर आप मेरे को सुनेंगे, I will take a lot of pauses, right? You want to ask something? All right, okay. So it is not about being glib. It is about being thoughtful. It is about being deep. So this is what my understanding of journalism that should be is today, right? And it should be about something constructive. It doesn't mean that you have to be a PR agency for everyone, but it means is that you have to do constructive things, and don't, media is also baited by smart politicians. So don't take every bite. That is very important if you have to be, a journalist. But I think the most important thing that I can tell you today is that as a media person, you will think that your primary role is to find the truth, right? In the world, whatever things are happening. But I think if you have to find it more effectively, the most important thing that you have to find is yourself. Self-awareness is generally what I feel is the most important skill that a media person can have. Understanding yourself, you will be the most important subject. Sir ne abhi CGP ki baat ki, right? Or I'm not, he's absolutely right. It's an academic institute, and academic excellence is important, and you should be very, very serious about it, and it should be the top priority when you are a student. पर मेरे को एक लगता है कि important subject जो मेरे को हर एक जो university which wants to excel, and I read the vision of Chitkara to be an institute of excellence, the most important subject that could be taught, कोई guess करेगा? Ethics, absolutely. Self-respect, all right. Moral science, okay. Empathy, okay. Perseverance, all right. So I think, but all these things are important things, but it all starts with self-awareness. हम मैथ साइंस जो भी सब्जेक्ट आपने पढ़े होंगे जर्नलिज्म, वी फिल सो मेनी नोटबुक्स ऑन इट विद द राइटिंग सब्जेक्ट, पर जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है वो आप हो. और अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम अपने आप को उस रिगर और उस स्ट्रक्चर से नहीं पढ़ते. देयर वाज अ स्टडी डन बाय एन इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक इन यूएस which showed that people who are self-aware, or even companies which are self-aware, they on and earn outperform the market in every way. और जो लोग सेल्फ अवेयर होते हैं ऑन एन एवरेज दे अर्न 41% मोर सैलरी इन फर्स्ट 10 years ऑफ देयर करियर, राइट. तो जो सबसे ज़्यादा ROI आनी है वो सेल्फ अवेयरनेस पे आनी है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली today, because our education system is more or less of a residual of or a derivative of colonial rule, and our minds are still colonized that way, and so it is very, very important that you guys start studying yourself better. If you look at anyone who is a top performer, आज सर मीडिया वालों की भी लेबलिंग होती है कि ये ऐसे होते हैं. सो व्हेन यू गेट लेबल्ड, राइट, जब आप अपने आप को नहीं जानते यू गेट लेबल्ड. किसी की लेबलिंग हो जाती है, मीडियोकर है, एवरेज है, या ये डरपोक है, यहाँ इसको बात समझ में नहीं आती, यहाँ ये बदमाश है क्लास का, राइट, यहाँ ये जोकर है, एंड वी बिकम स्लेव टू दैट एंड वी लूज आवर सॉवरेनिटी. सो देखो लेबलिंग हो जाती है और उस बंदे को भी पता होता है कि लेबलिंग मेरे लिए अच्छी नहीं है, बट सिंस यू डोंट नो योरसेल्फ यू बिकम स्लेव टू दैट लेबलिंग and you behave like that. You want to stay true to that image that has been put in your head again and again. That is what we call narrative also. But once you are self aware, you can create your own brand. Ultimately you are a brand. जब आपके बारे में कोई सोचता है तो उसके दिमाग में 4-5 वर्ड आते हैं, right? So ultimately what I'm trying to say is if you will know yourself better, you will set your own narrative, you will get your sovereignty back. Everyone understands what is sovereignty? All right. So you get your sovereignty back. So don't get labeled, and it is very, very important in next couple of years. If you are here for 2 years, 1 year, I don't know how long you are here, please study yourself very well. Apart from the subjects, एक notebook लगाओ जिसपे subject पे अपना नाम लिखो. Know your strengths, weaknesses. If you look at anyone who is at the top, they are very, very self-aware. You talk about top sportsmen like Virat Kohli or Djokovic, or they know what to eat, what muscle to exercise, right? What part of their game to work on. If you look at top businessmen, even top media people, they have created their niche based on their strengths, right? So it is very, very important if you have to be successful in your career or in any aspect of your life, whether it is health, whether it is relationship, any aspect of your life, you have to be very, very self-aware. That is the biggest learning you can have, and it works for you throughout your life, right? And so this is briefly what I would like to tell you about the biggest lesson that at least I have derived out of my own experience that I can share with you. Apart from that, I would like to tell you about one initiative that we are starting. We are starting this campus brand ambassador program, campus reporter kind of thing. Again, how it benefits is quite obvious. It sets awareness about us in different different campuses, and how it benefits students is it gives them certain level of experience, right? It gives them certain level of exposure, and as an organization, we will help you with certain certifications, certain opportunities, certain training programs, and of course some goodie bags will come along with it, right? So this is more or less what we are planning to do at this campus with the permission of Dean, Honorable Dean, and I hope more and more students participate. And we will be doing some content creation because Ripu Daman is my ex-colleague, and we always had a good rapport. In his earlier students used to come to our earlier channel Khabrein Abhi Tak, for their training and other things. So whatever help we could extend to you guys, so that, again, as I said, our mission is our primary goal. If I really think about, if I write my mission statement for myself in life, it is definitely one part of it is, to create more competent people. If you guys are competent, life is better for us in the future, right? So मेरी जो बुढ़ापा पेंशन है वो डिपेंड करती है आप लोग कितने पैसे बनाते हो, right? So it is kind of my social security and insurance that if you guys are capable, so we'll build more capable, more generous kind of people we want to build, and in that will always be our initiative. So we always had very strong connect with educational institutes because that is our own personal background, and that is more or less of our mission. And if anything you guys would like to ask from me.
Sir, you mentioned that आप ज़्यादा hard news पे focus नहीं करते. You mostly focus on providing insights. But generally news has a very short shelf life, especially hard news in general. So I just had a question कि अगर कोई आप research करना चाहते हो अच्छे से, for example the Sri Lanka crisis, and उन्होंने emergency लगाई थी and वो over हो जाता है and उसके बाद आप news बताते हो, तो ये आपके उसके लिए channel के लिए थोड़ा सा बुरा नहीं हो सकता?
first of all, I never said that हम hard news पे focus नहीं करते. What we said was that, what I said was that, we focus on what is important and meaningful. So that were my exact words. देखो, सुदर्शन चक्र के बारे में आपने सुना? It was the most powerful weapon. Sudarshan Chakra was a weapon of precision, right? And especially when you are media people, you be very precise with your words. You listen very precisely and you speak very precisely, right? And of course, there is shelf life, but analysis sometimes matter, and we are into that business. So if you are into media, you have to understand, you have to move fast, you have to do your analysis fast, you have to do your research faster, right? And you develop methodologies to do it fast. So like I'm glad you mentioned Sri Lanka crisis. We did our homework on that. As I told you that our team is mainly from which leads the analysis is from IIM Ahmedabad and those kind of institutes. So there is already a huge amount of knowledge bank that we have, right? Knowledge base that we have already developed with our previous experiences. And so it becomes slightly easier over a period of time. At one stage it was harder, but now we are coping up with it and we move faster, we are nimble that way. I hope I have answered it. All right.
So like you mentioned that your vision is to Pratik mentioned that is to create giving more insight. However, you're in competition with news channels who are delivering news fast and on real-time basis. So in the long run, because audience is still serves the major criteria and it's still the major factor that you need to consider while delivering the news. So how do you plan to compete with all those news channels while still managing to give real insight and better news?
All right. I think that's a very good question. Basically, we are not in competition with them. We see it as a Red Sea. So we want to create our own blue sea, where there are not so many sharks for us. We are not, that is not the business we are in anyway, to deliver the news fastest. Of course, the right balance has to be there. And what we have found out that with the right kind of team, you get enough lead time to do a reasonably insight analysis, and some issues which are really, really important, they have a slightly longer shelf life. So you can keep on improving your analysis also, and you keep on adding input. Like if I talk about Russia-Ukraine crisis, we know that most of the people, are not that concerned. And even the target audience that you define for yourself is, what we have defined is in terms of academic qualifications, economic strata, in terms of intellectual capabilities and thought process, we are looking at top 30% of the population. So we are not targeting that kind of population, which is just looking at कि आज, शहर में क्या हो गया या किसी नेता ने क्या funny बयान दे दिया, we are not looking at that. If really it impacts, अगर ये impact करेगा हमारे लोगों को long term, तो हम उसके ऊपर discussion करेंगे. नहीं, please someone add something, if I have missed something. Or basically this is more, I would like more and more people to, participate in it and participate in this campus, reporter kind of activity that we are planning. And of course your ideas in terms of improving it and other things, right? Or वैसे भी I think Aman will be a better guy to talk about journalism. As I said, I'm not a journalist as such, Yeah. Why I always feel you're asking a question. All right. Yeah.
So, could you tell us what the campus ambassador would have to do on a regular basis?
Absolutely. I think that is a very fair question. So basically, as a campus brand ambassador, right, you will be given certain tools and kits. You will provide us, we are starting one section about campus news, right? So you provide us the certain, activities that are innovative and interesting activities that are happening in the campus, right? And we will cover those in that, that campus brand ambassador page. So it will, we will take your videos, and if you create some good stories, it will be like that. And secondly, create awareness about Punjab Today, Himachal Today, and all our brands within the campus. We will have multiple campus brand ambassador for different channels that we have. All right. So this is more or less of the activity.
Right. So would this campus ambassador thing have just the journalism aspect, or even the PR aspect related to, to the channel as well?
Yes. As I said, it benefits in terms of brand positioning, right? So the goal is to create awareness, do activities within the campus under the banner of Punjab Today or Himachal Today, right? Depending on, for what channel you have been represented, right? And as I shared that, certain goodie bags, certifications, trainings, certain programs of yours will be promoted and other things. And of course, finally, we want to expand and hire people. So I think this will be good way for us to look at the work ethics of a person, commitment of a person, and quality of course, quality of content that is being produced.
So secondly, what would the selection process be for the campus ambassador? Is there any selection process?
Yes. So basically, there will be a link that will be shared with you guys. You put in your application and a small video of yours you can put on over there. Whatever idea, if you want to, say something, if you've done some kind of activity, or if you want to create some content, so you can put that video based on that, and then there will be one interview that will be held, right? So this is the more or less of the process for doing, campus brand ambassador program. Yeah.
Like, would you be training us? So like there would be classes, or how would you plan on it?
Yes, basically as a campus brand ambassador, and otherwise also we are doing some consulting project we are giving to your journalism department, where we have asked you to produce certain content. For that, Dean sir and Ripu Daman, they will coordinate with you. They will select their own teams, and we are planning to create some content at your campus which we will use, right? So it will be a whole consulting project that is being provided to the department by our channel. But campus brand ambassador program is separate from that project. If you speak Hindi, Punjabi, English, it does not matter, right? So it's not that you have to be Shuddh Punjabi speaking or Hindi speaking. That is how we speak, right?
Slightly different question.
No worries.
You said that you are from the management background, and even I have completed my bachelor's in management. Did you find it slightly hard to cope up with all of this managing journalism, because the type of news that we consume is totally different that is being consumed in media?
Yeah, that is one sad part of it, and I found hard to cope with. Even when it was pure management, I found that also hard to cope. Actually, life is inherently tough, right? So I most of the things I have accepted that they will be hard. So I look at it's I never wish for easy things. It's like if I have gained weight and I tell God to ki earth ki gravity kam kar de, so that's not gonna happen.
As in the organizational structure that we are being taught in business schools,
Oh, that is same.
media houses follow the same structure as in that?
Dekho, I was very fortunate that in my previous role I was asked to run a news channel, and it's a Khabar Abhi Tak. I don't know if you heard. It's a top channel in Himachal and Haryana. And when I went there for the first time, in a typical fashion, you get a typical industry welcome when you are an outsider. So everyone will tell, sir, आपको अभी पता नहीं है. उनको भी लगता है कि इसको ऐसे CEO बना दिया है, right? So the point is that over a period of time, right? First you have to learn. Just because you are a CEO, they are right कि अभी आपको पता नहीं है. You have to learn to keep your mouth shut for some time, observe, and basically fundamentally it is about managing people only. Ultimately, everyone who reaches the top, he or she becomes an HR manager. And of course, you have to understand the dynamics of that specific business, which is not generally very hard. So if you are a management graduate, it is going to be a help to you. If you have really learned your management principles well, वो आपको help ही करता है, right? And so over a period of time, you start getting hang of things. So धीरे धीरे आपको समझ आना शुरू हो जाता है, and you have to give yourself time. You will feel like an outsider, but with certain experience you learn कि हर चीज़ समझ आनी शुरू हो ही जाती है. And life is inherently tough only. तो भगवान को ये बोलना बंद कर दो कि सारी मुश्किलें हटा दे, उसने नहीं हटानी है.
So you mentioned, for example, the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Your intended audience was academic, like people in academia and like the top 30% of the nation, right? Who will be your intended audience for like this campus news?
It will be basically student bodies. Let's say you are writing something about Chitkara. Who will be the most interested? Other students of Chitkara, faculty of Chitkara, parents of the students of Chitkara. So that will be the audience for Chitkara news mostly, or people who didn't get admission into Chitkara, right? जो दूसरे campus में और वो जो सोच रहे हैं कि यार यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. So that will be the audience, I think. Look, if you name it Punjab Today, by definition, you are focusing on certain set of people, right? And it always makes sense to have with the new technology, it allows you to focus at a lot lower cost, right? आपको आसान कर देता है with modern distribution technology. It makes it easy. So like Himachal today will by definition will have a certain percentage, but as I said that we are always catering to that top 30%. उनका interest हमेशा national में रहेगा, international issues में रहेगा, right? तो it gives us freedom to create some common content also. We are a new channel, but definitely we hire a lot of your classmates are there doing their internship, they are working with us. Couple of people are definitely working.